KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
Kick off your weekend with Rising, rivals, and unbeatable deals. Phoenix Rising takes on Las Vegas Lights FC on Friday, September 5th at 7:30 p.m. And $1 beers are flowing all night long. This is the match fans wait for. High energy, big moments, and a crowd that brings the heat. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours now at phxrisingfc.com. Friday Night Lights, fierce rivalry, cold drinks. Don't miss it.
Hi, I'm Andrew the Homebuyer. Selling your house right now the traditional way isn't so easy. The average home is taking months to sell. Fortunately, I can help. I'll come to your home and give you a cash offer within minutes. Then we can close in under 5 days. And I'll make sure you get as much money for your house as possible. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today, and let's get your home sold. Visit AndrewTheHomebuyer.com. That's AndrewTheHomebuyer.com.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerner Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
Every day begins with the promise of something new, a new perspective, a fresh start. At Banner Health, right here, right now, we're pioneering new ways to treat cancer with our own immune systems. We're among the first to treat Parkinson's with the patient's own cells. And we're a world leader in artificial heart implantation, all while training over 1,300 doctors every year. Impressive, right? It's just another Banner day. Banner Health.
Summer's here, and SRP wants to remind you that swim safety starts with W. That's right, W, as in Water Watcher. Keep pool time a good time by designating an adult who can swim and knows CPR. Be sure they avoid distractions, always scan the swimming area, and ensure that the pool gate stays locked. Assigning a Water Watcher is a simple step to help prevent drownings and keep everyone safe around pools. To get more water safety tips, visit srp.net/pool.
Jack here. My bonus Jack combo starting at $3.99 comes with fries, a drink, and a burger with 1, 2, or 3 patties. It's a meal that'll actually make you happy. Starting at $3.99. Get so much more.
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Plus tax. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
Hope you're all having a great Labor Day weekend. Yes, we're here. Chris Schubert, producer Evan behind the glass. Another edition of the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060. You didn't think we were going to take the day off. There was ASU football over the weekend. The Diamondbacks took 2 out of 3 in LA. It's the first week of football. The NFL starts on Thursday. You didn't think of course we're here. We'd love for you to join us here on the show. Phone number 480-864-1060. We're also streaming the show over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream where you can hang out with us over there as well. It's just producer Evan and I today. There is nobody else here today.
I think it was just you and I's car in the lot today.
I would agree. I did not see any other car when I pulled in this morning.
So we thought Friday, not many people here.
Right. We thought Friday was nothing. No, this is the new standard of everybody else. And rightfully so. It is a day off. We could have not done a show today, but you and I had a conversation. I said, hey, we want to do a show. And we talked about ASU football. We said it's the beginning of week 1 in the NFL. There is a lot to discuss. So let's come in and do the show. So here we are to do a show, and we will start by talking about that football game that happened over the weekend, although you had to really be there in order to see it, because if you were watching it at home like I was, you didn't really get to see the game. Let's talk some ASU football.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
See, producer Evan, being there in the building, working in the booth, has its perks. You got to see the game. You got to watch ASU play football. I didn't. Although I did get to see the first half.
So I didn't even know the stream was down until the next day.
It was a tough experience. Because for those of you who maybe, I'm assuming most people had just as much difficulty as I did. The ESPN Plus feed, because the game wasn't on ESPN or ESPN2, you had to watch it on ESPN Plus. The feed went down in the second half.
And it was down the whole half?
It was down the whole rest of the half. Now, can I be honest? I feel like I should be honest about this. I was watching the game on my tablet, and everybody else in the house was going to bed. We had to be up early Sunday morning for some softball. I said, all right, I'll take the tablet. I won't put it on the big TV, but I'll go out in the living room. I'll lay on the couch. I'll have the tablet. I'll sit there and I'll watch. Second half starts. Game isn't on my screen. I'm just hearing the game. I fell asleep. I had to go back.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't watch. I was just listening. It was just putting me to sleep.
Let me ask, was the ESPN Plus, did they adjust and start calling it as if it were radio?
So Roxy Bernstein was on the call. And for a while there to start, they didn't acknowledge that there was a technical difficulty. So when that happens, I think it's a me thing, right? If it's not being acknowledged by the broadcast.
If you don't address it.
I'm worried that I've done something wrong. My app isn't updated or my app is acting weird. So I had a buddy who's ASU alum. He was watching the game. I was texting him and he's like, no, I can't see it either. So I'm like, okay, now it's not a me problem. This is an us problem. And then that was around the time that they started to actually address it. And Roxy said that they would kind of call it very radio-like. No disrespect to Roxy. Leave the radio to guys like Tim Healy. I leave the radio there because it wasn't great. And they were still, because every so often the picture would kind of pop back in and it would be all like fuzzy and it wouldn't actually, but you could see that they were still calling it like it was a TV game because they were using the telestrator and you could kind of see the outlines of the circles of them still trying to hope at some point that the feed would come back. It was rough. It was a rough watch. You got to see it in person. It was a rough listen because let's face it, this is why we're starting with this. ASU did win the football game. They did win by 19 points. You look at the box score, Jordan Tyson has a box score that you expect Jordan Tyson to have. Sam Leavitt has a box score that you expect Sam Leavitt to have. But this was a not inspiring ASU performance to start the year. It's not one that makes you feel great about where this season may go. Instead, you probably have a few more concerns coming out of this game. A few more concerns that you want to see get addressed rather quickly because they are the types of concerns that can derail this team's championship aspirations. Let's call this season for what it is. They have aspirations of winning another Big 12 title. They have aspirations of going back to the college football playoff, and they have aspirations of going further in that college football playoff than last year. They want to go further. They want to beat every metric from last year. They want to check every box that they had checked last year, and they want to take it a step further. Well, there are things from that game last night. We'll talk about Sam Leavitt individually a little bit later on in the show, probably hour number 2. But I think everybody knows where I'm going to go. You can't commit 12 penalties for 93 yards and expect to win most football games. I mean, ASU played a very sloppy game on Saturday and still won by multiple scores. That just shows you the sheer talent level that they have and the talent discrepancy between them and NAU, that they were able to overcome 12 penalties and some sloppy procedural stuff, delay of games, some sloppy discipline stuff, roughing the passers, extending drives, the things that you can't do that against Utah, can't do that against Texas Tech, can't do that when you play Mississippi State in your next game. You will not get away with those things when you play better opponents. And NAU is no slouch. We said this on, it was either Thursday or Friday of last week. This is a ranked team at the FCS level. This is not a team to take lightly. If you make mistakes, they will take advantage. That game was a lot closer than it should have been for way too long. And it started so differently. The game started, you're feeling good. I texted Evan midway through the first quarter, and I said, they're taking care of business. Offense is looking good. They had the fake punt at that point to extend that drive. They were up 14-0. Defense was playing well. Everything was on schedule. They were taking care of business. And then just like that, They got really sloppy on offense. They couldn't execute on offense. They stopped running the football. They just abandoned it completely. And they allowed NAU to hang around. Why? They allowed big chunk plays. Penalties kept drives alive. They just weren't very sharp. And that's okay. It is okay for in the week 1 of your season to not be sharp. It's okay to have to shake off the rust. Rust is one thing. The penalties are the big thing that I'm worried about. I'm not that worried about the execution of this offense. I didn't think Sam Leavitt did a great job of executing the offense. I do think there were some play calling question marks. And again, we'll touch on that a little bit in hour number 2 of the show. But I expect that stuff to get worked out. I expect their willingness to go away from the run to find a balance here as the season progresses. Penalties are something they can hang around.
The penalties, I thought, were a major concern. Just from, second drive of the third quarter, you come out, you throw a screen pass that goes 75 yards for a touchdown, that's coming back. Then you roll out on a design rollout. Sam gets into one, and he completes probably his best throw of the day on a 64-yarder to Malik McLean, and that gets called back. And so now you're at first and 20, and then you get a delay of game. So you just went back to back to back, and now it's first and 25, if not first and 35, whatever it was. That just can't happen.
You can't allow chunk plays to get removed off the board. And the reason why is, I'll make up a number, but against NAU, let's say you're going to get a chance to have 7 or 8 chunk plays throughout the course of the game. Okay, if 1 or 2 get called back, I still have 5 or 6 other chunk plays that I'm going to be able to get over the course of a game. Against Utah, how many chunk plays you get? You maybe only get 2 or 3 big plays in a game. And if those are the ones that get called back because of a penalty, that might be it.
Those are probably your chances.
Those might be the only chances you have of either getting back into a game if you're trailing, extending a lead if you're up. Those might be the difference between winning a game and losing a game. You have a larger margin for error against a team like NAU than, say, anybody else on your schedule this year, right? And so those are the things that I worry about. I don't worry about Sam Leavitt. I think he'll be fine. I don't worry about this rushing attack. I think it'll be fine. I don't necessarily worry about the way the defense performed. I think they'll be fine. I do, however, worry about things like penalties that are discipline procedural stuff, because I can't tell you how many times in my life I've watched a football team commit those penalties and everybody thinks, coach will emphasize it that week during practice and they'll be fine. They'll get it corrected. And the problem lingers and it lingers and it lingers because, of course, Kenny Dillingham is going to instill in his players to be disciplined. Of course, penalties are going to be a major concern point throughout the week. Do you think Kenny Dillingham, all in the lead up to NAU, didn't talk about playing disciplined? Didn't talk about not giving free plays to NAU? You think he just completely ignored the procedural stuff? Of course, that's a point of emphasis. Of course, every single week, a coach talks about being disciplined, not giving up free plays, not extending drives when you get off the field on 3rd and 8 because of a sack, but then there's a hanky out there on the field because somebody was holding. There's not going to be an emphasis this week that is really any different than there was an emphasis last week for ASU when it comes to this stuff. This is bulletin board material all the time for coaches. So you just have to worry about the execution. You have to worry about this becoming a snowball that you can't control. Happens all the time. Happens all the time in football. Teams extremely undisciplined, and they can never get it under control. You commit 12 penalties for 93 yards against any other team you face in the Big 12 this year, you're going to lose. You're not going to beat Utah with 12 penalties with 93 yards.
No.
You're not beating Texas Tech with 12 penalties and 93 yards because you're not only going to hurt yourself on offense having those big plays, but you're also going to keep your defense on the field by committing those penalties, roughing the passer, extending a big drive, maybe when you're on the road somewhere this season. You just can't do it. You have to clean that stuff up. So Kenny has to continue to emphasize the discipline because that'll derail the most talented team in the world. Cannot commit those types of penalties. Now, you want to take a delay a game because you want to back up the punt attempt. I'm not holding those ones against you, but I am holding a roughing the passer that extends the drive. A false start coming out of a timeout. Those ones are brutal. Those are the types of penalties throughout the course of the season. Makes you want to punch your television screen. Call timeout. Go out there, not ready, not set. We take a false start. You cannot have those types of procedural blunders. You have to clean that stuff up. You want to win a championship? You want to go back to the Big 12 title game? You want to play in the college football playoff? You know how you get there? You're well coached, you're well disciplined, and you execute. And three of those three things, I don't think ASU did well on Saturday. They found a way to win because they're the more talented football team. But that's not always going to be the case. As this season progresses, you're going to go up against teams that are just as talented, if not more talented than you. And the way you win those games is by execution and by discipline. And ASU did not have it on Saturday. Didn't have it. What was the feel like in the building?
It was concerning, especially as you got into the second half. I mean, I'll say it, won't sugarcoat it. I mean, the atmosphere was awesome, right? I mean, you had over 56,000 fans. You broke the student attendance record. All of those things were awesome. And the first two drives were great. The fake punt was really fun. Do I love running that against NAU? Probably not.
See, I don't have a problem with that. And here's why. You now put it on tape for everybody else to worry about. Right? There's an argument that if I have that in my pocket and nobody sees it coming, that helps me. But the counter argument is now everybody knows that I'll do it. Everybody knows that it's a distinct possibility, and it may change the way they cover punts. And so that may help ASU flip the field position game. So I think it goes both ways. Do I love that you felt like you needed to pull that out against NAU? No, I agree with you. But Kenny said earlier in the week, he's not afraid to put anything on tape. He needs to see where his team is at. He needs to do stuff in order to see where his team is at. And part of me thinks the way they approach things offensively was by design to see what they like and what they didn't like execution-wise, what they felt they needed to work on, and what they feel are easy installs for them, right? They maybe ran a play against NAU that they're like, I don't know how we're going to execute this. Let's find out. This is kind of a testing ground to find out if this play is going to work. And now we know if we can put it in the bag of tricks that we can always go to, or if it's something that we need to work on. Kind of playing with your food a little bit. I do think there was a hint of that. And that's why I'm not overly concerned about ASU maybe being a little sluggish. I do have some concerns about the penalties, but I think the overall inconsistency of the offense, I'm going to point more towards a coach that maybe was trying some things, playing with their food a little bit, thinking that they were always going to be able to take care of NAU. You do run a risk when you do that, but ASU always kind of felt like they were in control of the game, even when things weren't going their way. So was never really seriously worried about the result. And so it did feel like a case a little bit of them playing with their food and trying things.
I 100% agree. I think that they were messing around there a little bit, or seeing what you have. I just thought that there were areas. I thought they abandoned the run in trying new things. And listen, I know they weren't really that effective on the run, but let's look at it. I mean, Sam Leavitt had 7 carries. He's tied for the lead. Yeah, right? Kyson Brown had 7 carries. Raleek Brown had 5. Kanye Udo gets the 2. One of Kyson Brown's carries is the fake punt.
Yeah, the abandonment of the run game did leave me puzzled, left me kind of scratching my head a little bit. But again, if you believe that ASU was kind of playing with their food a little bit and ASU was trying things for the sake of trying things, then maybe that was by design. I don't love it. Let me just make something very clear. Even if it was by design, I don't love them abandoning the run. You need to be a balanced football team, and you need to get your guys in gear and ready to go for this season as it continues to progress. So I don't like completely abandoning it to try other things if that's truly what was going on. And if it wasn't, then we've got a whole other host of issues of why that was the approach in the first place. But I don't like it either way. Sam Leavitt's great. Sam Leavitt is a Heisman candidate for a reason. Certainly had a statistical night that could back that up. But you are a team that needs to have balance. We saw last year the benefit that this team had when Cam Scadaboo was running all over the place, putting the team on his back. Do I think they have that ensemble of runners? No. But do they have a running game that can help balance their offense and keep defenses guessing? Yes. And I think abandoning that was a mistake in that game. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream as well. When we come back, well, he's here. and it's not off to a good start. That's next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Ben DiNucci, NFL quarterback. I'm still going to introduce you as NFL quarterback. Being on the practice squad, what's the difference in how you're treated, lifestyle?
Honestly, nothing's different. I mean, there's 53 guys on the active roster and there's 16 on the practice squad. And the reality of the NFL is that guys are going to get hurt. There's a reason that these teams put a lot of effort into the practice squad, just like they do the active roster. It's really all the same. You're still traveling with the team. The pay cut's a little bit less, but at the end of the day, it's still great.
Live Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
Judas Priest and Alice Cooper. The Metal Gods, Judas Priest. The godfather of shock rock, Alice Cooper. October 22nd, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater with special guest, Corrosion of Conformity. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Presented by 100.7 KSLX, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
America. We are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. By honoring your sacred vocation of business, you impact your family, your friends, and your community. At Grand Canyon University, our MBA degree program is 100% online, with emphases in business analytics and finance to help you reach your goals. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Things today can seem kind of unpredictable. Who knows what's around the corner, right? Well, at Total Wireless, we want to give you something to be sure about. With us, you save 50% off Metro and Cricket when you switch with one line. Guaranteed. And you get to keep the phone and number you love. Visit our Total Wireless store today. 50% savings for unlimited plans versus comparable Total Wireless unlimited phone plans based on standard plan rates. Some customers may only receive guaranteed savings after contacting us and validating the current plan rate. Excludes promotional, discounted, and bring your phone rates. For Total 5G unlimited plan or higher, auto pay required. Applied on next renewal date. Additional terms apply.
You want to see the ring? Here, I have a picture.
Wow, look at you.
I know, right? Went to Hellsberg and customized the whole thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, I showed them all our inspiration photos, picked the setting, the diamond. It's actually pretty fun. Now for the real hard part, asking her.
Well, congrats, buddy. Ring looks awesome.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Jim Rome here to Rome Report. Hey, Dallas, how we living? Wait, don't answer. I already know. Your worst lives ever. All right, maybe it's not that bad, but it's probably pretty close. Am I right? As I asked on the X last night, what did the city of Dallas do to deserve this? Micah Parsons and Luka Doncic, two superstars in their prime who never wanted to leave, did nothing wrong, and both are run out of town in the same year. How is that even possible? And make no mistake, this Micah debacle is on the owner, not the player or his agent. Jerry Jones going around the agent and negotiating directly with the player and thinking he had a deal is not only scummy, but it's probably in violation of the collective bargaining agreement too. The dude completely botched the negotiation, then he got worked in the trade with the Packers. The old man is not all in or in it to win it. Give me one good reason why anybody should still be a Cowboys fan. Hey, Pops, sandblast that star off the side of the helmet because it no longer means a damn thing. I'm Jim Rome. Football season is back on Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So don't miss any of the action this season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use my code ROME and get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROME on Prize Picks to get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASU certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Well, he's back. But it is just as bad as it was the last time that we saw Jordan Lawlar in a uniform for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And since I mentioned his name, contractually obligated to play the sound effect, was brought back up from AAA Reno a little bit after we got off the air on Friday. So Diamondbacks didn't wait until September 1st, which is today, to make their expansion of the roster with Jordan Lawlar. We kind of predicted that he would be the hitter that would get called up on September 1 to join the team when rosters go from 26 to 28. They sped that up a little bit, got him up to the bigs once again, and immediately, this isn't with the benefit of hindsight with seeing how it went over the weekend in LA against the Dodgers. This was the plan that was set out by Torey Lovullo before the series started. He said that Blaze is going to still get playing time and that Jordan is going to play against left-handers and that they were going to try to find him opportunities against right-handers. And we've been talking about this since the last time Jordan Lawlar was up here at the big league level, that we thought this was a mismanaged approach on how to get Jordan Lawlar the most playing time possible. Because even with the 2 games that he played in over the weekend, still only has 27 at-bats at the big league level this year. And if he's going to play against lefties and they're going to try to find him opportunity. He sat on Saturday. He played on Friday, sat on Saturday, played again on Sunday. Immediately was back to being on the bench. And for a guy who is going through it, he was 0 for 8 over the weekend with 5 strikeouts. So he's still in his own head about all of this. This is still very much a mental side. And I said this to producer Evan in the morning meeting, and I don't know how this take is going to land with many of you. I am worried that it's going to sound stupid when it comes out of my mouth, but it is truly how I feel. So I'll say it aloud, I'll defend it, and we can have some banter about it if you disagree. The longer that these struggles go, the better I feel about it for Jordan Lawlar. And let me try to explain what I mean. The longer this goes where he struggles in this manner, where he's 0 for 8 with 5 strikeouts. Previously, when he came back up, he had 1 hit and a bunch of strikeouts, just looked kind of lost at the plate. The more it leads me to think that it is more of a mental side thing, that he is just overthinking at the plate, and that if they can just get him out of his own head, if he can get out of his own head, he can go back to producing the numbers that we saw him doing down in Reno, playing more towards being the top prospect. I think I would feel differently if he was up here and he was just okay. He was hitting 215, had like a 650 OPS, wasn't driving in runs, wasn't really getting a lot of extra base hits. He was just kind of meh. I think I'd be worried about, I don't know. The fact that it's this bad, I think screams more to me, he's just overthinking it. And to me, the best way to get him out of his own head at this point is you just play him every day. Because you're taking something that he might be thinking about off the table. He's probably waking up every day, getting to the ballpark, wondering, I don't play well today. Am I going to be sitting tomorrow? If I don't play well today, when's the next time I'm going to get a chance to get out of this rut? And he's going to carry that with him into every one of his at-bats throughout the course of the game. He's going to carry that with him when he's out in the field playing third base. And so this play, don't play, sit a couple days, definitely going to play against lefties. We'll try to find him time against righties. I just don't think it is the right approach for a young player. And I just want to see him get a chance. And if he plays the rest of this year and it's bad and it doesn't get any better, then I do think you have a serious problem on your hands. But I do think most of this is mental at this point. And if he just continues to play, I do think he'll break out of it. There'll be this kind of wave of relief that will hit him. And I think we'll start to see the production that we all think Jordan Lawlar can have at the big league level. Those numbers down in Reno, he could very easily replicate for the Diamondbacks next year as the starting third baseman. No doubt.
It is one of those things now. You add the Blaze conversation in, and it only gets worse in his head. And so that's another factor now. The spot was almost his for the taking there for a second early in the season. They didn't call him up right away. They decided to wait. They didn't call him up. He didn't play every day. And now he's in a spot where Blaze is setting the world on fire in the month of August.
I see what you did there.
And thank you. And Jordan's up here now, and he has to prove it as well. But every time he's come to the majors, he hasn't had a real fair shake at it. And so imagine that mentally on your mind. The only concern is, how long can this go before this mental thing becomes permanent and now it's I really can't play?
I do think there is a fine line here where right now I tend to actually be okay with this because I do think it's more mental. I don't think we would use the B word to describe Jordan Lawlar right now. But the fine line is there does become a point where the longer this goes, it does become a problem. It does become something that makes you wonder, is he just a quadruple A player? Meaning he's way too good for AAA, but he's just not able to get it done at the big league level, and he's going to spend the majority of his career getting these opportunities with different teams, but never really sticking because he's unable to have that consistent level of production. I don't think we're anywhere near having that conversation. Again, we're talking about a guy who has less than 150 plate appearances at the big league level in his entire career over the course of 3 different call-ups. I mean, so this is the smallest of small sample sizes, but you're not helping him as an organization. And it is your job as an organization. Forget what time of year we're in. Forget where the Diamondback season is at. It is your job as an organization to put your young players, to put the players that are supposed to be your future in the best positions to succeed. And it feels like both times this year, the Diamondbacks are not doing that. Because here's the other part of the take. If you are worried about playing him every day and what that's going to do to him, then he isn't ready to be up here, and you should have left him down in Reno. You can't have it both ways. You can't tell me on one hand that he is ready and he's healthy and he's doing all of the things you want to see him do at AAA Reno, and then call him up and not play him because you're trying to protect him, then that means he's not ready. If he's up here, that is your signal to all of us that this kid is ready to play. And that doesn't mean Blaze Alexander's playing time needs to be diminished because of that. Blaze deserves to be playing. This is a meritocracy. This is performance-based. Blaze Alexander needs to be in the lineup every day, not just because of the way that he's playing, but because I want a larger sample size of Blaze Alexander to see what I have in him going into next year. You have to find a way to get both of these guys on the field. Blaze in center. Torrey talked about that. We mentioned that on Friday, the 10 games that he played in center this year. Torrey mentioned it as a potential possibility that Blaze is going to get time in center field. So you can be creative with Blaze Alexander. You need to be just as creative with Jordan Lawlar. And maybe they want to get him in mostly against lefties because they think that's an advantageous situation for him to break out of this little rut and for him to start producing. But to me, the start, sit, that's not helping. It's counterproductive.
I don't know if the lefties playing him against lefties is going to help.
Is that really what's going on here? Right?
It's not him seeing the ball. It's a complete mental thing.
I think so too. I really do. I don't think his approach is completely changing from AAA up to. He's getting into that box and he's just overthinking it. And somebody has to just try to calm him down and get him back to being the player that he was literally a week ago in Reno. And that's what this month is supposed to be about. This month is supposed to be about giving him every chance to do that. And so I hope that they find a way to get him more involved than they did the last time he was called up. But immediately he was called up, and before he was put in the lineup, before he got a chance to play, they were already talking about the plan. And the plan did not include him playing most days. It did not include him playing every day. To me, that was red flag number one, that they didn't learn anything from the last time they did this.
That is the biggest thing that is a manager front office mismanagement problem. Like, I just don't understand how you watched it go down last time, understood that there is major concerns now about confidence, and then came up and had him do the same thing.
Shouldn't the conversation have been with Jordan Lawlar? Listen, man, We absolutely believe in your talent. You came back from an injury. You've been crushing the ball down in Reno. We need you to be that guy, and we believe in you so much. We're playing you every day. I don't care what those numbers say. I don't care how bad you were the last time you were up here. I don't care how bad the numbers were in 2023 when we called you up needing a spark late in the season. I care about the player that you are right now, and that player is one of the best in all of the minor leagues. Numbers that rival anybody's. One of the best prospects in the game. Go be that guy. I am genuinely surprised at the way they're choosing to approach this. Because if they are choosing to handle him with kid gloves, then he's not ready. Then he's not ready and he shouldn't be up here.
And at what point, if he's not ready now, when is he going to be ready? What can he show you in AAA that is going to make him more ready for big league baseball? He has to see consistent big league pitching.
Absolutely. No doubt about it that he needs to see regular everyday pitching. And he needs to get his 3 or 4 at-bats every single time, every single day.
I don't care if he goes over for 10 games. I really don't. He has to play. Because winning does not matter now.
No, it's all about evaluation. And so he's here. We're going to get a chance to watch him play. We're back in the same rut that we were in the last time he was up. And so I just, honestly, do you feel the way that I feel that 1 3-for-4 game is the thing that just, that sets this thing ablaze?
It might be like an infield hit that gets him out of this, because an infield hit and then all of a sudden you start to string together 2 or 3. If he has a 3-hit day, I imagine he'll go on a weak run where he can kind of come back to who he is and get the confidence back. And that would change how this feels dramatically. It's also 2 games. He played 2 games. Yeah, it's bad. You played the Dodgers on the road. You went 0-for. Okay. You struck out 5 times. Okay, that happens.
We'll talk more about that series for the Diamondbacks over the weekend against LA, taking 2 of 3 to open up hour number 2 of the program. But when we come back, it is week 1. Cardinals start their season against the New Orleans Saints. And let's face it, this is a really good test for that new Cardinals defense. We'll talk about it next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Footprint Center, September 16th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails, live in Phoenix. Peel It Back World Tour 2025.
It's time to head back to school and forward to your future with Carrington College. For over 55 years, we've helped train the next generation of healthcare professionals. Apply now to get hands-on training from teachers with real-world experience. In as few as 9 months, you could start making a difference in healthcare. Classes start soon in Phoenix, Glendale, Mesa, and Tucson. Visit carrington.edu to see what's next for you. Visit carrington.edu/SCI for information on program outcomes.
This is Ron. I'm the president of Alaskan AC. Our main job is keeping you comfortable, and we hope that puts a smile on your face. But we recently met someone we just made smile just by being on the radio.
I giggle every time I hear you guys come on. My daughter laughs at me because I can hear the jingle start, and I immediately turn the volume up.
That's our new friend, Charisse. Not a customer, just somebody who needed a laugh, and we just happened by.
My husband passed away 5 years ago. I was diagnosed with cancer 5 years ago. I fell into a very dark depression. You guys make me so happy, so I can't say thank you enough. I really, truly can't.
That's awesome. No matter how we made you happy, we just want to say thanks. You're the reason we've been keeping Arizona chill since 1972.
The Grizz cracks me up. And I've actually repeated it to people because some of them don't know who you guys are.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to say, oh, you have to listen to them. They're so funny.
Reach out anytime at AlaskanAC.com.
Denny's has 5 slams starting at $5, like the 2-egg breakfast slam. Great deals on full meals like the super slam. That's slamming smart. 5 slams starting at $5. And now earn booth bucks with Denny's rewards. Find your booth at Denny's. Valid at participating restaurants and on Denny's.com for a limited time. Restrictions and surcharges apply.
Stay at the heart of it all with a special Cliff Castle room rate starting at just $99 with no resort fees. Less fees mean more ways to choose your next adventure at the gateway to the region's best gaming, entertainment, and natural wonders. And expect service from the heart as well. We think you'll love your stay with us and all the value we provide, starting at just $99 with no added fees. Cliff Castle Casino Hotel, at the heart of it all. Valid Sunday through Thursday. Some restrictions apply. An enterprise of the Yavapai Apache Nation.
At Sprouts, you'll find healthy around every corner and tasty on every shelf. And you know what's even more delicious? With our new Sprouts Rewards, you can earn points, explore member-only perks and personalized offers, and enjoy savings. Download the Sprouts app to join today.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
You've seen Shador. We've all seen him. He's, kind of everybody gravitates toward him.
He's got aura.
There we go. Thank you, as the young
kids
kids say. He's just there doing his job. He shows up early. He stays late. He's not posting it on social media to post it on social media to say, look at me. What you see is when he shows up to a neighborhood in which just got burned down, the apartment complex, and he sets up food trucks. I can't wait to see what happens for him, and I think that they have a good foundation for the future.
It's James Out West, every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
I know that I've said it a bunch here in the last week or so here on the show, but we made it. Football's back. It was a huge college football weekend. I watched that obnoxiously boring game between Texas and Ohio State on Saturday.
Yeah, that was bad. A lot of bad quarterback play in that one.
Just obnoxiously boring. Like over the top levels of that game stunk out loud in the first half.
I think those are two of the best defenses I've seen in college football in a long time. I mean, Caleb Downs covers more ground than any college safety I've ever seen.
Both teams are very talented.
Yes.
Both teams are going to be in the conversation when we get to the end, but I think we can all agree that was not an
it was boring. It was boring.
And not
painfully.
And I enjoy a good defensive chess match. That's not what that was, though. That was poor execution, poor play from the quarterbacks, a lot of just procedural stuff, penalty-wise, that
drops,
stopped and started things, and just every time I looked up, we were playing softball over the weekend, so I had it on the tablet. By the way, mobile hotspots and the tablet, two of the greatest inventions that we have in this world. Watching the softball, I'm keeping score on my phone because that's my official role on the team. I had the tablet with the hotspot from the phone, Texas, Ohio State right in front of me. Not one time did it lag. Not once did my picture flutter the way that it did for ASU, NAU later on that evening. And every time I looked down, the two teams, didn't matter who had the ball, they were in the same part of the field. They were just in between the 30s perpetually for the first quarter and a half.
It felt like the first three drives, every team went for a 4th and 1. Didn't get it.
And it was just the commercials in college football are long. Just everything feels like it takes forever. Love it. Can't wait. I'll be there on Saturday to watch some more. And we've got week 1 of the NFL starting this week. The Cardinals will take on the Saints. And I can't tell you how excited I am for this matchup for the Cardinals, not just because it's the season getting underway and we're finally going to get to see this team in action. And as we've said, season doesn't really start for this squad until the second half, but it'll be nice to have some actual game film to evaluate, some actual thoughts based on the play of this team. I'm very excited to see this defense. I am very excited to see what Jonathan Gannon and Nick Rallis have been up to all offseason with this new group. They've raised the floor. They've certainly raised the ceiling. They have made themselves a better unit. I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do. And this is the perfect matchup for them to shake off those cobwebs, introduce all those new parts, and build that consistency. We love the talent. Calais Campbell's never played with Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat's never played with Budda Baker. All of these parts need to fit together and become one solid unit. You draw a really nice matchup against, let's face it, a quarterback that's going to try to sling it all over the place. He's going to probably run into some pressure, run into some sacks, run into some mistakes. And so I'm excited to see this new vaunted defense. Feels like big game for them coming on Sunday, to where the Cardinals defense is our major talking point next week. And everybody's like, did you see the Cardinals defense last weekend? Definitely feels like it's setting up for that.
Doesn't it feel like if they have a good game, like we may overestimate what they are talent-wise, but it could bring a confidence to this group that added so many guys that could vault them into believing they're a top 10 unit in football.
Oh, I think both things will be true. I think they can have a great enough game on Sunday, and I think they will have a great enough game on Sunday to where everybody around the NFL overreacts to it and calls it a top 5 defense because of what they do to Spencer Rattler, but also it builds confidence for the group. I think if this defense is top 12, top 10,
it's a playoff team.
It's a playoff team. I don't need top 5. I think they have a chance this Sunday to be talked about like a top 5 defense because they could have all the counting stats. They could have the sacks. They could have the pressures.
Takeaways.
They could have the takeaways. They could limit the yardage, limit the points. I mean, they could. I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse on a Monday for a game on Sunday. We've got a whole week's worth of previews. But boy, does it feel like they could pitch a shutout. Like it feels
really
that
does.
way.
It really does. I just, the Saints, no disrespect to the Saints.
They stink out loud.
This is one of the worst rosters I've ever seen.
Yeah, no. And you know what? If they take disrespect to it, I particularly, I don't care. Like this team, this roster isn't very good. They are hopefully getting things right with who their new head coach is in Kellen Moore. But let's face it, they're going to be in the mix to pick number 1 overall.
They are in a complete rebuild.
Yeah, they are. I don't think they're going to try to tank. I think Kellen Moore is going to try to win games, obviously, but I don't think they're very good. And this is the bill coming due for all of those years of restructuring these deals and limiting the depth options on your roster. And as those players whose contracts you restructure get older and older and older, and you miss the window to win with those guys, you find yourself in exactly the situation. And they've got talent. Chris Olave is a nice young receiver. Like, they have talent on defense that you like.
They do. Not a lot.
No, but there are pieces that you look at and you go, okay, they've got something here, but they are very far away. And there is zero excuse for this Cardinals defense to not set the marker early for what this defense is capable of. Because if you can't do it against the Saints, how am I going to believe that you're going to do it late in the year when you're taking on Joe Burrow? Because guess what? Those games late in the year when you're facing the really good quarterbacks, you know the thing that's going to keep you in those games? Your defense. Defense is going to have to be the equalizer. Your defense is going to have to keep Joe Burrow, C.J. Stroud, Baker Mayfield, Trevor Lawrence, Stafford. Going to have to keep those quarterbacks off the board. And if you can't do it against a Saints team that we just said stinks out loud, how am I supposed to pick you to do it as the season progresses? So you got to set a good first impression. All the talk all offseason, how great this defense is, how much they've turned over the talent and have made this a strength. Okay, if it's the strength that you say it is, this is a matchup where you should feast. This is a matchup where I don't want to hear any excuses afterwards when you don't perform. You have to go out there and do it. So I think it sets up well for them. I do think it comes with its share of challenges if you struggle. If you struggle, a lot of question marks going to be asked next Monday. If the defense gives up, 35 points and Spencer Rattler's running all over the place, I'm going to have a lot of questions on Monday about what we've been doing all offseason if that's the type of performance that the Saints are going to have. I don't think they're going to have it. I think we're going to be able to have a conversation on Monday about how great this defense is, but set the example. Give a good first impression. If you give a bad first impression, hard to overcome that. Give a good first impression. I think the Cardinals defense will be able to do that on Sunday. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the show. When we come back, we'll wrap up hour number 1 here of the Monday Labor Day edition of the show. A little buy or sell. We'll get to it next. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters and we kept signing people to contracts and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Nitro Circus is back with the all-new Off the Rails Tour. World-class daredevils and FMX, BMX, skate scooter, and more. Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, and never-been-done showdowns. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
The garage door springs that come standard with most homes don't last. And when they fail, it's not just inconvenient, it's dangerous. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello at A1 Garage Door Service. Our springs are the toughest in the industry, backed by our lifetime warranty. That's right. Fix them once and you're covered for life. Don't risk your family's safety or your peace of mind. Let A1 replace your springs before they become a problem. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one.
A1 from day one.
Twin Barrel. Navajo Casino.
Cool off with a road trip to northern Arizona's beautiful AAA Four Diamond Resort.
Place to come when you wanna have too much fun.
Football freaks, crush our $57,000 pigskin pick'em and score up to $500 free play weekly and up to $5,000 cash at season's end.
Twin Barrels.
Swipe your Players Club card at any kiosk to make your picks. Mondays 10 a.m. through Saturdays 5 p.m. for the following week's games. 15 players will score cash or free play. You'll love Zenith Steakhouse, awarded for excellence by Wine Spectator, the D. Rona Award for Excellence, and Open Table Diner's Choice Award.
The place to come when you wanna have too much fun.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Twin Barrels.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's. I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers, crinkle-cut fries with Texas toast. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Having fun here on a Monday edition of the show. We appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with us. Hope you're enjoying your Labor Day. If you're just listening to us on the app, you're hanging out with us over on YouTube, or you're in your car getting some stuff done here today. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for choosing us to spend a part of your day with. We are wrapping up here, hour number 1 of the show. Don't worry, we've got another hour here for you. But we close up hour number 1 with a little buy or sell. Producer Evan has some takes. I affectionately refer to them as the hottest takes in sports talk radio.
They're hot today.
Really? So already to start the week, you're just making the claim. Hottest takes right out of the gate.
Yep.
All right.
You ready?
I don't need to set it up any better than that. Please. Floor is yours.
ASU's first game has you concerned for what the rest of the year will look like?
Yeah, these are hot to start the day. Start the week. I will. Can I soft buy?
You can soft buy.
I'd like to soft buy this one. The penalties are concerning. I need to know more about why they abandoned the run. Was it by design, or did we call it that way? If we called it that way, then I'm very concerned. If it was by design, I don't love it, but at least I now know that there was a reason behind it, that you were just trying things. You wanted to see the way certain things looked offensively, and you just steered away from the run. Again, I don't love it, but at least I can understand that there was an actual reason behind it. So I will soft buy.
I think soft buy is correct there. The penalties are a huge concern. I'll be honest.
That's a problem.
I don't think they were great in the trenches, which I think is a concern as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to win there, right?
Yeah.
You have to get after the quarterback. You have to protect your quarterback. And you have to open up those holes for the running game. And if it wasn't by design, right? If they abandoned the run because they saw the way the game was going, well, if your offensive line isn't opening things up, is it going to be easier for you to abandon the run? And I'm sorry, I love Sam Leavitt. You can't ask him to be a savior. You can't ask him to throw the ball 40, 45 times a game and try to win that way.
I mean, and we'll talk about it more in an hour or two. You drop back more than 40 times.
I just don't.
Against NAU.
I don't think that is going to be a recipe that wins in the long term.
Yeah. Zach Gallen has priced himself out of the D-backs budget this offseason.
Yeah, of course. Slam the buy button on this one. I mean, this is confirming everything we talked about on Friday with Zach Gallen. That he is pitching like somebody that you want around next season. Problem is, I don't think you can afford it with how well he's pitching. What was it? Another 6 scoreless against the Dodgers?
Another 6 scoreless against the Dodgers. By the way, you know what I've never thought about? When you said hard buy on that one, it just made me think. You ever watch Mad Money?
Of course.
Buy. I just realized this is how we got this segment.
Right. That's the whole reason for this.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Just thought of that right now. Sorry.
Welcome to the program. It's the lunch break from 11 to 1. We do it every single day. You're the producer. You've been the producer since April.
I knew we came up with this. We loved this idea, but I didn't realize it's that that's where we. Never mind. Bill Belichick at UNC.
I don't have a drop on the board that works for this. I am trying to see if we have one. There's not a single one that works for this. For how just distraught I am that it took you up until September 1st. You've been here since April. It took you this long.
Some would say I was a little late, but now
the alignment. No.
aligned.
Now aligned. Just took you way too long to get there. Okay, something about Bill Belichick. He makes his debut today, does he not?
That's where I'm headed with this. Bill Belichick at UNC will be a disaster for their football program.
I mean, disaster feels a little harsh, right? Define disaster for me in this context.
Win less than 4 games.
No, then I'll sell this. It will not be a disaster. He's got some good recruits. He's a good football coach.
He is.
It doesn't matter what level it is. He could walk into a high school program right now and win 7 games. Doesn't matter. So, no, it won't be a disaster. Do I think it's going to make UNC relevant? I mean, relevancy is
they're playing on Monday night.
Right. Relevancy is in the eye of the beholder. Will they get more national attention? Yeah. Do I think they're going to be national championship contenders? No. How about this? This is going to follow a very similar path to Deion in Colorado. They're going to be more relevant. They're going to be more talked about, but I don't think they're going to pop in the way that everybody thinks they might be able to.
Yeah, but Colorado won 4 games first year and had better players come in.
And just lost to Georgia Tech in week 1 of
And just lost to Georgia Tech. So take that with a grain of salt. It's been good at times because they made a bowl game. It's been kind of a disaster.
But relevant. I wouldn't describe it as a disaster, especially with where Colorado was.
Certainly.
I think all of the people who thought that they were going to be this can't-miss team, top 10, make the college football playoff, compete for a championship, I thought that was foolish from the word go. And I think that has bared fruit in a big way.
But we knew for Colorado, it was last year or never, right? It was the year that they had Hunter and Shador in their second year at Colorado. And if it wasn't going to happen then, what's it going to look like?
Agreed. I agree 100%. The fact that they didn't win last year tells me that it's going to take a while. And honestly, I don't think it's ever going to happen. So I think North Carolina follows a very Colorado path. Talked about more. They get more national TV games. Maybe win 8 or 9 games, but that's about it.
Okay. The teams that are currently in the MLB postseason will be the teams that end up making it. There will be no team from outside the postseason to get in.
So you're asking me to evaluate if the Reds will get in the National League. And you're asking me to evaluate if in the American League, the Royals?
I believe it is the Royals who are 3.5
run?
back. Give me 2 seconds and I'll give you exact.
Well, I know the Royals are now in front of the Guardians in the standing.
Are. Yeah, so it's actually Texas at 2.5 back and the Royals at 3 back. Guardians at 4.
So I'm either Texas, and the 3 teams in front of Texas are the Yankees.
The Yankees, who are 3 above the last place team in Seattle, and then the Red Sox just a half game under the Yankees, and then Seattle, who's 2.5 above Texas and 3 above
No.
Kansas City.
No, I'm going to sell this. I don't think anybody gets in the way. I don't think anybody runs in front of those teams. I think the way things are right now.
So you're buying.
I'm buying. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. Hour number 2 right around the corner. Thanks for joining us. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Hosier presents the Unreal Unearthed Tour 2025, live in Phoenix. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, October 7th. With special guest, Amble. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The #1 album, Unreal Unearthed, is available everywhere. For more, visit hosier.com.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage door is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repair. From simple repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. We fix garage doors fast and with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs, rollers, and openers are tested by running them up and down, open and closed, all day, 24/7, so you can feel confident with every A1 garage door repair. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see in your garage and in your home. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today and receive the best service, best parts, and best warranty in the industry.
A1Garage.com, A1 from day one.
Call today and take advantage of our $29.95 tune-up special.
It's your last chance to stock up on your favorite refreshing wines at AJ's 25% off end of summer wine sale. Now through September 7th, explore our exquisitely curated collection of summer wines and save 25% when you mix or match 6 or more 750 milliliter bottles. Savor summer by sharing the season's finest sips and save 25% when you buy 6 or more bottles. It's now through September 7th, only at AJ's.
This fall, choose Primavera Online, and you'll be choosing a school with flexibility, personalized support, and an award-winning curriculum that's over 20 years strong. Now enrolling grades K to 12 at chooseprimavera.com.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
I think it's fair to say it was a good weekend overall for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Going into LA, taking 2 of 3 off of that team. But I wonder if that makes you more annoyed or optimistic about the future. Does it make you more frustrated that the Diamondbacks are able to do that against LA and yet their season is in the tubes and they had to sell at the deadline? And they're not competing really with the rest of the teams for that third and final NL wildcard spot. I know they're right there. What are they, a half game behind the Reds? They're within striking distance, but they're not really in this race. And so does taking 2 out of 3 over the weekend against LA annoy you? Because it's like, man, if we could have just had more of those series earlier on this year, that could have meant something. Or does it make you a little more optimistic about how the future could look? That, hey, this team's still got a lot of talent that's going to be around next year to where that can happen next season. We can play that way against the Dodgers next year, against the Padres next year, because we have so many pieces that will be returning to this squad that are helping us do this right now. I I don't love to dwell on the past, and there were so many issues that plagued this team over the course of the first half plus of the season that I don't think it annoys me that the Diamondbacks won 2 out of 3 over the weekend. I don't look at it as frustration that you couldn't do it earlier. I look at that series as, hey, you've showed me that you can still compete with that team, even after everything that has happened this year. Now, you've had a really nice run of success in LA recently as it is. You've gone there and really played well. Surprising for the Diamondbacks to play that well on the road in LA. Surprising that anybody can walk into LA and play that well. But the Diamondbacks lately, last handful of years, have really thrived out there. So that's not on its own surprising. But you look at Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll and Geraldo Perdomo, all of these guys who are just always at the center of things for the Diamondbacks. And we keep reiterating this, that those guys are still going to be here next season. And so there is a repeatability here. There is this thought that they can very easily do this next year because none of those guys are walking in free agency. They traded all of the guys that are going to walk in free agency, or at least most of them. Yeah, okay, Zach Allen started on Friday. And there's a pretty decent chance that Zach Allen's not going to be here next year. He's playing way too well. He's certainly going to decline the qualifying offer once the Diamondbacks give it to him. And I do think with the way that he's finishing this season, and he'll have a handful of starts between now and the end of the regular season, he's going to have some suitors that line up and pay him more than the qualifying offer and give him that multi-year commitment that he's looking for. So I think he's gone. But other than that, a lot of the pieces at the center of things for this team right now are going to be here next year. And so I'm choosing an optimistic path today. I'm choosing glass half full. Not anger that they couldn't play this well earlier in the year when big series came up. Not anger of all the missed opportunities when the season was in the balance. Not all of the blown leads, the meltdowns, the injuries that hurt this team at the beginning of the year. I'm not going to be mad that now all of a sudden they've turned it on and really since the trade deadline have played some better baseball. I'm not going to get frustrated by that. Instead, I'm going to choose to look towards the future. And in order to look towards the future, I got to know who's going to be there in the future. And I know right now I can turn on Diamondbacks baseball. And I can watch players that every single night are at the center of things for this team. And those players are going to be here next year. So I can understand being annoyed. I get it. The gut reaction is, oh, sure. You do this now. You go into LA and you take 2 out of 3 now against this team. Oh, sure, Zach Allen. Now you throw this 6 scoreless against a good opponent. Sure. Couldn't do that earlier in the year. Couldn't do that in June. Couldn't do it in July. Couldn't do it coming out of the All-Star break. Couldn't do it at any of those points. But sure. You do it now. I get that frustration. I get that because this year was supposed to be way more than what we've gotten. The season should not be completely written off by September 1st. That's not what any of us signed up for, and that's not the way the Diamondbacks put this team together. But I feel a lot better taking 2 out of 3 from LA than losing 2 out of 3 to LA. I feel a lot better going into LA and showing that even after all of this, you can still compete on a night in and night out basis with anybody. You're competing with the Dodgers. You're telling me you can't compete with the Padres? You can't compete with the Mets? You can't compete with the Cubs, the Brewers? You split with the Brewers last week, no? So you've shown an ability to belong on the field with these teams. That should be encouraging about the future. That should mean this team, despite all of its flaws this year, despite all of its issues this year, isn't that far off.
It's the reason you and I believe they can compete in 2026, right?
Of course.
It's the reason we don't think next year's a lost season. Do I think they need a lot of help? Yeah, probably. And do I circle Friday's game and say Zach Gallen was brilliant and they're probably not going to have him back, so maybe you look at Friday as a wash? Sure. But even if you do that, you're in the game Sunday. You won the game Saturday. You showed that you can compete with the Dodgers. You can compete with the Brewers. I don't know how you don't look at this team and be excited about what they've done over the last few weeks. Now, do I look at it from a 30,000-foot view and say, I understand the frustration? Certainly. Certainly understand it, because had you done this at the beginning of the season, had you take advantage of specifically the weaker part of your schedule, you would have circled these series and say, wow, you split with a surging Brewers team and you took 2 of 3 in LA, and things would be looking up, and we thought this team would be competing at this conversation. And, we had that series circled for a much bigger one 3 months ago than we do now.
And Friday's game in particular, I think, further emphasizes a point we explored last week on the show, that you're going to need replacements in that rotation, right? Zach Gallen doing what he did on Friday, you're not going to have Zach Gallen to do that next year. So you're going to have to replace that in some way. If you want me to take what you did over the weekend and extrapolate it out and look towards the future and see a world where this team can compete in 2026, it goes back to, you've got 2 holes in that starting rotation that you need to fill. And I need to see how you've chosen to fill those holes, because you can't just sign a guy off the street to be a starter and expect him to give you what Zach Gallen gave you on Friday night, what Zach Gallen has been in the month of August. You don't find a bunch of those guys in free agency. You don't have a bunch of those guys in the minor leagues, at least not guys that you can consistently count on to do that. Perhaps Mitch Bratt or Cole Drake could be that guy. You just don't know. It is an unknown right now. And so you are walking into next season knowing that you don't have guys that can give you that performance. You don't have somebody ready to take Zach Gallen's spot that's going to be able to replicate exactly what Zach Gallen did on Friday and what Zach Gallen has did in August. You have to fill those holes. You have to find replacements for Gallen in this rotation. You have to find a replacement for Merrill Kelly in this rotation. You also have to fix the other 3 starters in your rotation, the 3 guys, the ones that are going to be here next year that you're going to count on to carry this mantle. So a lot of good over the weekend, a lot of positives, way more positives for me than being annoyed. But Friday's game, it does show that Zach Gallen's not going to be here next year, and maybe that's okay with some of you. With the way that he's pitching right now, I certainly would love to have him back. He's pricing himself out, and now you have to replace that. You have to replace that level of production. It's easier said than done. It's not an easy thing to go out there and find. Whether it's free agency, trade, internal options, it's not easy to find somebody with that kind of talent. That's the frustrating thing with Zach, is that that's possible every single night out. He can do that every single time he takes the ball. He can stand on that mound, doesn't matter who's in the batter's box across from him, and throw up zeros. Those types of pitchers aren't just, you don't go down to the local convenience store or the local grocery store and get yourself a starter that can go 6 scoreless. They don't just have them on sale. You have to find those guys. There's a handful of them, not many. Across baseball, every team is searching for guys like that to put in their rotation. And so the future, offensively, everything they're doing right now offensively can be replicated next year, because all these guys are going to be back, right? Blaze Alexander not going anywhere. He's been hot in August. Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, Perdomo, Moreno, all those guys are going to be here. Pitching-wise, Ryan Nelson, he's been solid this year. He's not going anywhere. Brendan Pfaadt, he isn't going anywhere. If you can make some tweaks and get him back to being the version that he was 2 years ago, he's not going anywhere. Erod, at times this year, has shown somebody that can be a capable starter. So if you can get that version more consistently, he's not going anywhere. So you have a foundation to build off of. Not complete, but you have a foundation to build off of for next season. And I think you're seeing it here over these last 2 months of the season.
And they're not rolling over. Right? Like,
that's
fighting.
Nice too, right?
That's been very nice, and that makes you think maybe there is a little fight left for the manager. I don't know how much of their record for the rest of the year is going to matter in the decision that they make for Torey Lovello, but do I think there's going to be changes in 2026? Yes, there's going to be quite a few.
Man, doesn't it feel like forever ago that we were debating the Ketel Marte stuff and Torey's role in it and what Torey's future was going to be? Doesn't that feel like it was an eternity ago? I mean, it feels like it was forever ago that we were discussing that story.
With football starting, it
Right.
totally is going on the back burner.
And it's gone on the back burner because there hasn't been any real major follow-up reporting. There hasn't been any stories that have come out that have said the discontent between the two sides has continued, right? And I think Cattell's apology, while out of order with the way that I would have done it, did seem to quiet things down.
It really did, and I didn't expect that, actually.
No, and I thought it was done out of order, and I thought it was going to make things worse. It ended up not. It ended up making it completely go away. And overall, the play of the team has allowed Torrey and his future to kind of go to the back burner. It isn't completely gone. You can find conversations on social media about what Torrey's future can be. You just need to, you want one quick glance at it, go to the comment section on any short form content we put out about Torrey anywhere or about the Diamondbacks anywhere. Torrey is brought up in the comments without fail every time he's brought up. So it is still front of mind for a lot of Diamondbacks fans, and him going into a lame duck year, the last year of his deal. It is certainly going to be something to keep an eye on this winter of how the Diamondbacks choose to approach this. But to your point, team's playing really hard for him right now. They have not given up. They are not rolling over. They could have very easily just taken a trip out to LA and kind of slept walk through that series, and nobody would have been surprised. Nobody would have blamed them. But they've showed fight against Milwaukee, showed fight in this series against the Dodgers, taking 2 out of 3. Could have very easily been talking about a sweep. And that's where the frustration comes in, because you can see how good this team could be. And yet, for a bunch of different reasons, they haven't been able to meet that mark this year. If you want to join us here today on the program, the phone number, 480-864-1060, is how you can join us. We've also got the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream where you can chat away with us over there and watch the show. When we come back, the box score, it tells a certain story. How true is it? That's next, the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Ben DiNucci, NFL quarterback. I'm still going to introduce you as NFL quarterback. Being on the practice squad, what's the difference in how you're treated, lifestyle?
Honestly, nothing's different. I mean, there's 53 guys on the active roster and there's 16 on the practice squad. And the reality of the NFL is that guys are going to get hurt. There's a reason that these teams put a lot of effort into the practice squad, just like they do the active roster. It's really all the same. You're still traveling with the team. The pay cut's a little bit less, but at the end of the day, it's still great.
Live Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
Kick off your weekend with Rising, rivals and unbeatable deals. Phoenix Rising takes on Las Vegas Lights FC on Friday, September 5th at 7:30 p.m. And $1 beers are flowing all night long. This is the match fans wait for. High energy, big moments, and a crowd that brings the heat. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours now at phxrisingfc.com. Friday Night Lights, fierce rivalry, cold drinks. Don't miss it.
Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, heart-pounding excitement. Nitro Circus is back. The all-new off-the-rails tour. Gravity-defying thrill seekers and world-class daredevils at the top of their game. FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and everything in between. Experience all-new competitions that pit the best against the best in never-been-done showdowns. Nitro Circus. Friday, December 5th. Desert Diamond Arena. Join the action at Ticketmaster.com.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Wendy's has a huge new drink lineup. And you know what goes great with your to-do list? A little treat. And we've got one for everything on that list. The have-to-do stuff? You need a Frosty Frappe. The want-to-do stuff? Obviously a Tangerine Twist Lemon Freeze. The stuff that's been on your list for like a year? That's going to be a Sparkling Energy. And maybe a reality check? Giving your to-do list a to-drink list? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Sparkling Energy with caffeine.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The Bears and their GM, Ryan Poles, have taken plenty of heat for their inability to consistently put a winning product on the field. And yes, some of the criticism is valid. But to fully understand where the Bears are now, you have to remember where they started. Poles took over in 2022. Chicago had the most dead cap space in the NFL, a crippling number that made roster building nearly impossible. Fast forward to 2025, and the picture looks very different. The Bears now boast what was once considered a generational quarterback prospect, a retooled offensive line, and a collection of promising young weapons. On top of that, they flipped the script financially, owning the least amount of dead cap in the league. Pair all of that together with a new head coach, praised for his innovative offensive approach, and the foundation finally looks stable. There have been misses and setbacks, no doubt. But when you compare 2022 to today, the Bears have come a long, long way. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. High-quality meat, unbeatable freshness, a family-style commitment to care. That's the Heartland difference. Always flash frozen for peak freshness. Go to heartlandsteakco.com, delivered right to your doorstep. Get 2 ribeyes on me with a purchase of $150 or more. Use the promo code football25. Heartland Steak Company, your one-stop shop for straight-to-your-door Midwest meat. Our newest sponsor, you're going to taste the Heartland difference at heartlandsteakco.com. The problem with most security systems is they only take action once somebody breaks in. That's too late. Simply Safe is different. It's designed to be proactive, not reactive. With Active Guard outdoor protection, smart AI-powered cameras identify threats lurking and immediately alert monitoring agents. Get 50% off your new Simply Safe system at simplysafedan.com. Visit simplysafedan.com. Be proactive, not reactive. And remember, there is no safe like Simply Safe.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
If you couldn't watch ASU over the weekend, and let's be honest, most of us couldn't watch ASU football over the weekend, even if we wanted to, even if we sat down to watch the team play, that was a difficult task on Saturday. But if you were out and about doing other stuff and you didn't watch ASU football take on NAU over the weekend, and you just looked at the box score and you just looked at the final score and how Sam Leavitt performed throwing the football, he adding in the rushing attack, you would say to yourself, man, that Sam Leavitt had a good game. Man, that Sam Leavitt proved why he's in the Heisman conversation. Without watching the game, you would have a totally different perspective on what Sam Leavitt was able to achieve in that game against NAU. Whereas somebody who watched the game, at least up until the point where I couldn't watch it, had to just listen to the remainder of the game, I thought Sam Leavitt struggled. I thought Sam Leavitt struggled to move the ball deep down the field. I thought the offense struggled to get anybody else involved, not named Jordan Tyson. Producer Evan, do you happen to have the ASU box score handy?
I do.
So Sam Leavitt completed how many passes in this game on Saturday?
He was, give me 2 seconds. Let me go back to the box score.
Said he had the box score ready. Needs an extra second to get the box score ready.
So I have it up. I was looking at some team stats there because wanted to talk about their third down efficiency. But he was 25 of 39.
Okay, so completed 25 passes. If you break down those passes to who he completed them to, there were 14 of those 25 receptions to wide receivers?
Yeah, so it was the 12 to Tyson.
He's a wide receiver.
2 to Malik McLean. So 14 to receivers in total.
11 other passes completed to his running backs and a tight end. And this would be back to a conversation we had to open the show and a little bit during buy or sell. This is another area where you may want to file something away as a concern. Jordan Tyson, number 1 wide receiver going into the draft next year. Mel Kiper Jr. has him as number 1. The broadcast certainly talked about it. He is wide receiver 1 right now if we were having the draft today. That does not mean that the ASU offense is going to be able to work just with Jordan Tyson being their only perimeter threat, being their only wide receiver that is putting up numbers. Because Malik McClain, 2 catches, 5 yards. Somebody else has to do something in this offense. Now, that falls on Sam Leavitt, not just zeroing in on Jordan Tyson. Part of me can't blame him for zeroing in on Jordan Tyson. Part of me understands when you have a player that good, there's this default of get the good player the football and get out of the way.
And he does things, too, that you're like, I'll tell you, even he had 12 catches. At one point, he got the Justin Jefferson treatment of just throw it down there. Like, Jordan's down there somewhere. And they threw it up, and Jordan comes back to the ball and gets the pass interference call. And so you're watching that, and you're like, well, I get it.
Right.
I get it.
I understand why that might be a thought from the offensive coordinator's perspective, from the head coach's perspective, from the quarterback's perspective. I can understand philosophically why that might be the way this offense is executed. I just don't know how sustainable that is. Now, maybe Jordan Tyson continues to prove all of us wrong, and every week he's putting numbers like that up on the box score, and we look stupid. But I just have this feeling, watching this sport as much as I have, you're going to match up against a team that's going to bracket Jordan Tyson. You're going to have to do something else.
Certainly.
And I don't know what that something else is when you abandon the run the way that this team did. And most of your other throws, if we take out Jordan Tyson, a majority of them were to running backs and tight ends. Doesn't feel very get the ball down the field, get those big plays. Now, I want Sam Leavitt to keep the offense on schedule. And so if a play is called and the right option is to go to the running back or to go to the tight end, if the check down or the read dictates to go to those players, and that's Sam Leavitt executing the offense correctly, no harm, no foul. But to me, they're going to have another wide receiver emerge, and Sam's going to have to stop just zeroing in on Jordan Tyson. I know why that can be the default setting. It's the break glass in case of emergency option.
Certainly.
It is going to always get you out of the pickle. It's going to get you out of the jam. The play breaks down. Okay, where's Jordan? I understand that being the default preset. But you have to have other ways to operate your offense, or else you're going to struggle. And it's not like, producer Evan, we have an example of the Sun Devil passing offense needing to operate without Jordan Tyson and maybe struggling a little bit. I can't think of an example of a time where they did not have their number 1 wide receiver and perhaps their offense through the first half or so struggled in a game. There's not an example that just comes to the top. Oh, wait.
Texas.
The game last year against Texas. We've seen this. I've seen this script. Those are the teams that you are going to want to play late in the season. And if they just completely take Jordan Tyson away, what do you have offensively? There's no Cam Scattaboo to bail you out this year. There's going to be more on Sam Leavitt's plate. I thought he was great running the football.
I was about to say that. I thought what he does really well is playoff script, I thought, of moving around. He had the 52-yard scramble for a touchdown. He had the 19-yard read option.
Plays break down, extending plays, extending drives, turning what appears to be a negative play into at least something positive or not a huge loss is a strength of Sam Leavitt's game. No doubt about it. That is his difference maker. That is his calling card, right? He is not just a traditional pocket passer that's going to throw the ball 35, 40 times and just light you up picking apart a defense. He is an athlete. This play's breaking down. There's pressure. Watch this. I'm going to roll out, and I'm either going to take off for 52 yards or I'm going to run around and create enough time for Jordan Tyson or somebody else to get open for me to deliver the ball and have that big chunk play. That's great. That is a good thing to have in your offense, and it helps play calling, and it helps you keep your offense on schedule. But the team has to have balance. They abandon the running game, and they need to have balance with how they distribute targets. Not saying that it needs to be 50-50 and everybody gets theirs. Jordan Tyson is going to be the focal point, but you have to get other people involved because you are going to run up against a team that's going to try to make you go elsewhere. And if you aren't prepared to do so, or if you don't have the experience in doing so, it's going to harm this team.
And I will tell you, they shouldn't have him dropping back 40 times in a game against NAU. Right? Like, he threw 39 passes. He had the 52-yard run off the top of my head. I'm sure he went for another couple. You can't have him drop back 40-plus times in a game that you are a 28-point favorite.
No, I don't think I don't think it's a recipe to win consistently, and I also don't think it's the way they want to play.
That's the biggest thing, too. Is like, I know you lost Cam, but your identity last year was run the football. And partially that's because of Cam Scatterbo, but you had a lot of success there. Why are we throwing that out the window in game one?
And again, they don't have Cam Scatterbo back there, but they don't have no names.
I thought Raleek Brown was excellent. I thought he was excellent.
They've got guys in that backfield that can run the football.
They've got Udo had 1,100 yards last year.
Right. That's not a no-name walking into the building and joining that running back room. That is a highly productive college running back that you should. And if you can't figure out a way to keep your running game balanced, then that's a coaching problem.
Certainly.
So find the balance. Now, let's reset here a second. This is one game. It's the start of the year. You're shaking off the rust. You're shaking off the cobwebs. You're turning the page from the everything good that happened last year into focusing on the day-to-day, week-to-week grind of this year. I'm not saying the sky is falling. I'm not saying ASU can't live up to the expectations that surround them. I am pointing out some things that concern me. The penalties, the running game, the offensive execution in general, all things that need to be corrected, that need to be fixed. Good news, I believe in all the parties involved to be able to address those things. I believe in the coaching staff to be able to make those corrections. I believe next time out, they're going to have a better, more balanced offensive game plan. And they're going to
need one.
The reason why abandoning the run bothers me in that game so much, it wasn't like they were getting stuffed. They were doing well. They were running the football effectively. They weren't breaking off big, huge chunk plays, but I thought they were staying ahead of schedule.
Certainly.
I didn't think they needed to abandon it completely the way that they did.
I thought the narrative that they weren't having success running the ball is false, to be honest. Listen, I know you didn't have a 50-yard run other than the 34-yarder on the fake punt, but I mean, there was other things you had success doing.
I don't mean to put you on the spot because the last time I did this, we weren't really prepared for this. Can you give me the individual breakdown? Like the drive-by-drive breakdown. I want to go through the first two drives for ASU. And I want you to go play-by-play and tell me run, pass, and how many yards did they pick up. Because I just want to see if my memory from those first two drives is reflected in what actually happened.
Yeah, so first play of the game, first offensive play of the game, they get the holding penalty. Right? So they're already behind the sticks. It's 1st and 20. Then you hit like a 10-yard comeback to Jordan Tyson.
Yep. Get yourself back on schedule, 2nd and 10. I remember that one.
And then they flipped out like kind of a halfback angle to Kyson Brown, picked up 20+. Then back to Kyson Brown out of the backfield, then to Jordan Tyson for 12, and then a 6-yard touchdown run by Raleek Brown, which I thought was a very effective run. But they only ran the ball once in that series.
Okay, second drive.
The second drive. 7 plays, 89 yards, starts with a 22-yard pass to Jordan Tyson. Then you have 11 yards on the ground from Kyson Brown. False start on Malik McLean, an incompletion, a sack, a 14-yard run from Sam Leavitt, a 34-yard run from Kyson Brown. That's the fake punt.
Okay, so up until this point, we've run the ball twice. 6-yard touchdown.
And an 11-yard run.
17 yards on our 2 runs.
Mm-hmm.
And we've just decided to not run the football.
Yep. And then the touchdown pass to Tyson, that's the first one. Their third drive, they got no yards on a Kanye Udo dive. Then they had an incompletion. They punted, go 3 and out there. They go 3 and out again on a 3-yard pass, a 4-yard pass, incompletion. You go another drive. You didn't run the ball. Then you went 2-yard run, incompletion, 2-yard pass.
We didn't even try to establish the run. We had
I mean, you in your first 5 series, 3 of them 3 and outs, you ran the ball 4 times. Planned runs, you did have Sam take off for 14.
Right, planned runs, you had 4 of them. Yeah. And half of them were fine. I just don't understand why they completely abandon it when you're up. Control the clock, control the tempo, get into your flow.
And then the one right before half, you have a 4-yard run. You had a 19-yard run.
I'm not seeing a lot of just,
You had the sack, which is technically a negative 5-yard run, but that's
count.
a sack. I mean, just like...
I'm not seeing a drive where stuffed on first down, stuffed on second down, incomplete, 3 and out. I'm not seeing drive
they would
after
go
drive.
series last year, Chris, where they didn't throw the ball.
And yet this year they said, we're not running the football. Can't do it. Just one of the problems that I had from this game.
There was certainly a few. I think a massive coaching blunder in game 1, and you hope you go back and watch it. It's so alarming now, and I'm sure it doesn't feel like it in game for those guys, but it's so alarming now. They're going to address that.
I'm not worried about it. It's just something that concerned me coming out of the first game. Again, I believe in the parties involved to fix all of this, to fix the penalties, to fix the abandon of the run game, to fix Sam Leavitt and getting more members of the offense involved in the passing game. I believe in all of that. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, fans may be skeptical, but those inside the league, they're not. That's next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Let's go.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Brian Adams, Roll with the Punches Tour 2025. A night full of hits, live at PHX Arena, Saturday, November 15th. With special guest Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Hey, it's Austin Clark, owner of Moxie Pest Control. You know, most pest control companies use the same products we do. That's not the difference. But what is the difference is how we treat people. At Moxie, kindness counts. And it shows in every visit, every conversation, and every one of the 6,500 plus 5-star Google reviews our customers have written. Our field experts aren't just trained to handle pests. They're trained to treat your home, your family, your pets, and your time with the kind of respect you deserve. And our services come with a pest-free guarantee. Our methods and service just work better because our people are better. So if you want a pest control company you can trust in and around your home, give us a call. We offer same-day services in most cases, and we'll even give you 50% off your first service when you call. Call 888-MOXIE-10. That's 888-MOXIE-10. Moxie Pest Control, the highest and most reviewed pest control company in Arizona.
Meet Barkley. When Barkley smells gas, he leaves fast. When Barkley hears hissing coming from a gas appliance, he leaves fast. When Barkley sees dirt or water shooting from the ground, he leaves fast. Barkley then calls 911 and Southwest Gas from a safe location.
Did that dog just grab a phone and dial 911?
Gas lines can be buried anywhere, so remember to call 911 and Southwest Gas.
Ooh, Del Taco? Yep, they got these new boxes that are loaded with my faves.
LB boxes, come on, can I get a Del, yeah? Del, yeah.
What was was that? Oh, I bring these guys everywhere. Really enhances the experience.
Del Taco's El Big Boxes now come with bigger burritos. Try the $5 Classico, $7 Mex Faves, and $9 Amerimex box. More food, more flavor, more value. Only at Del Taco.
Price of participation may vary.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
You've seen Shador. We've all seen him. He's, kind of everybody gravitates toward him.
He's got aura.
There we go. Thank you, as the young kids say. He's just there doing his job. He shows up early. He stays late. He's not posting it on social media to post it on social media to say, look at me. What you see is when he shows up to a neighborhood in which just got burned down, the apartment complex, and he sets up food trucks. I can't wait to see what happens for him, and I think that they have a good foundation for the future.
It's James Out West, every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Week 1 of the NFL season is here. Starts on Thursday. We're getting you ready for Cardinals Saints all throughout the week. And in a last attempt to preview the season before we make our predictions over the next couple of days, we'll have our first edition of the Power Rankings in the NFL. Probably do that on Thursday. We'll have our first pick segment on Friday to get you ready for battling along with us or choosing a side between me and producer Evan. When we do our picks throughout the year, we'll do that on Friday. A lot of football. It's back. We're ready to go. We're excited. But there's still that last bit of preview that's happening across the NFL. And The Athletic put out a story this morning, an anonymous survey that they handed out to 31 voters who are coaches and executives from around the NFL. They were allowed to be anonymous so that they could vote truthfully. And they asked things like, who's the MVP? Joe Burrow led things there. You're starting a franchise from scratch. Who are the top 3 quarterbacks that you would take? Josh Allen received the most votes there, with Mahomes and Burrow tied behind him. Excluding QBs, who will be the best offensive player this year? Jamar Chase led things there. Who will be the best defensive player? Myles Garrett. Who will be the best rookie? Abdul Carter. Bunch of stuff, right? Then you get down to a question that I found really interesting. Name the 3 teams that will exceed expectations this year. And there are 3 teams that all got 7 votes. So when you were handed this question, you were allowed to put 3 teams down. The top 3 vote getters each got 7 votes, meaning they were represented on 7 ballots. Do you want to try to guess the 3 teams
that will exceed expectations in 2025?
Name 3 teams that will exceed expectations this season.
Okay. I have a guess. I'm going to save them for last, though.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with the New York Giants, actually.
The New York Giants got 5 votes, just on the outside looking in of this conversation.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville Jaguars. Not on this list. 2 votes.
Okay. The New England Patriots.
New England Patriots, one of the 3 teams tied at the top with 7 votes.
The Carolina Panthers.
Your Carolina Panthers, 3 votes.
Oh.
So you and 3 either coaches or executives in the NFL believe the Panthers going to do well this year.
I'm pumped to see that. Okay. So I have one more team. Exceed expectations.
You have 2 teams to guess.
I am guessing. Well, I think I know one of them.
Okay.
I am guessing an AFC team.
Okay.
And I am thinking.
Okay.
It is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals, 2 votes on this list.
2 votes.
You're going to love this answer.
I am?
You're going to love it.
Am I high on this team?
Oh. Couldn't be higher on this team.
Really?
Oh, you love this team. Love this team.
I now don't know who it is. That's almost making it worse.
AFC team that you absolutely love. You can't help but anytime we bring this team up to tell me how wrong I am about this team.
Oh, the Raiders. I love this team.
Told you.
Yep.
Raiders, one of the 3 teams that got 7 votes.
And then the last one is your Arizona Cardinals.
That's right. The Arizona Cardinals, the 3rd team on this list getting 7 votes. Patriots, Cardinals, Raiders, each getting 7 votes. And at the top of the list of naming 3 teams that will exceed expectations. And as the Athletic story points out, the Cardinals have been at the top of this list for 2 consecutive years. The Arizona Cardinals have the respect of their peers. They have the respect of the coaches and executives that they are facing off against, sometimes doing business with in the case of executives. That they believe in Jonathan Gannon and Monty Ossenfort and this coaching staff and the team that they have put together. You may not be a full-blown believer. You may be very skeptical of what this Cardinals team could be this year. For the second straight year, though, they have the respect of their peers. What does it mean? I don't know. They were on this list last year. How'd it work out? They didn't make the postseason.
They did exceed expectations, probably.
I absolutely would have beaten their win total from last year, yes. But the Patriots, Cardinals, and Raiders, all viewed as teams top of this list that will exceed expectations.
I would love to know the numbers on this.
Okay.
Raiders obviously made a lot of changes, right? Different head coach. Patriots, same thing. A lot of changes. Different head coach, brought in Stephon Diggs. Not saying the Cardinals didn't make changes, but they do feel like the team that has probably had the least amount of turnover of that group.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 teams directly below the Patriots, Cardinals, and Raiders are the Bucs and the Seahawks, and not a lot of turnover there, right? The only real difference
Seattle's got a new starting quarterback.
Right, but coaching, you were talking about coaching with the Patriots and the Raiders. The coaching is still the same there. But yes, they did change quarterbacks in Seattle. The Bucs and the Cardinals, I view very similarly in this conversation, because not a whole lot of change to the major power players, right? Same quarterback, same coaching staff, same GM making moves, right? A lot of the same infrastructure that's still there. Again, changes made to the Cardinals, but yeah, if we're talking coach, GM, quarterback, all of the same pieces there. Other teams near the top, the Bears and the Giants both got 5 votes. The Chargers got 4 votes. Panthers, Steelers, Packers each got 3 votes. Bengals, Saints, Jags, Dolphins, Falcons, Titans, Broncos each with 2 votes. Colts, Texans, Cowboys, Lions, Jets each with 1 vote to exceed expectations. Do you want to know the teams that will fall short of expectations? Lions led the way there with 10 votes. 16 votes. I read this wrong.
That makes total sense.
You're going to love this. Commanders number 2 at 9 votes.
Yeah, I mean, they're the oldest roster in the league.
Broncos, Bears, Dolphins at 5. The 49ers and Vikings at 4. Texans, Cowboys, Falcons at 3. Chiefs, Chargers, Eagles all at 2. Patriots, Bucks, Ravens, Rams, Steelers, and Bills all got 1 vote. Again, naming 3 teams that will fall short.
I mean, you just listed the top 15 teams in football?
I did name a lot of teams there.
If you're good, you can probably, not surpass expectations.
Yeah, and again, the Cardinals, there are high expectations on this team, yet even with that, there are people around this league, inside this league, that think they will exceed those expectations. And those expectations are, you should make the playoffs. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today. We've got one more segment before we are out of here. We call it the leftovers, all the stories that we didn't get to throughout the course of the day. We'll get to them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters, and we kept signing people to contracts, and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Prepare for the Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, Saturday, October 25th. Special guests, The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pile-Up. Tickets from $30. On sale now at livenation.com. A day to remember. Yellow Card, part of the American First Credit Union Concert Series.
You got the paint job, but now you need the materials fast. Get free same-day or next-day delivery on select PPG paints from the Home Depot. Now that's a pro move. Save time on store runs and get free delivery on small or large orders of select items. Save energy shopping around with PPG's wide assortment of colors and finishes all in one place. And save money with Pro Extra, where you can get up to 20% off paints, primers, and stains through Paint Rewards. The Home Depot, how pros get more done.
Are you ready to score big with your finances? Right now, get $350 for opening a new MidFirst checking account. Just visit a branch near you or go online. Plus, register your MidFirst debit or credit card and enter to win a $1,500 shopping spree. No purchase necessary. The clock's ticking, so don't wait. Win big this season with MidFirst Bank. Visit midfirst.com for details. MidFirst Bank. True to you. Member FDIC.
If you could rewind 10 years, what would you do differently? Buy Apple stock at $20? Skip the Ghost Pepper Challenge? Maybe even rethink the skinny jeans. Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Some regrets are harmless, termite damage isn't. You can't go back in time, but you can keep termites from eating your future. Call 602 Blue Sky today for your free termite inspection. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, pests.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Wrapping up today's edition of the show. Thanks for joining us today here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. The leftovers, all of the stories we didn't get a chance to touch on over the course of the program. Producer Evan puts them all together. We try to get through them here, rapid fire edition, before we hand things off to Jim Rome at the top of the hour. I do believe it is the best of Jim Rome today on his program.
Is that what is best of? Just like
just a compilation.
Best episodes,
yeah,
best
mostly interviews.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not many out there putting in the work like we did today.
No.
A lot of people taking the day. You know who didn't take the day?
The lunch break.
These two guys right here.
A lot happened over the weekend. Obviously, college football. We'll start with what a great weekend for the Florida teams. Florida State upsets Alabama at home. Miami takes care of business, taking down Notre Dame last night. Just a good weekend for the Florida teams.
You know who is a bad weekend for?
Who's that?
The Oregon Duck mascot.
What happened to the Oregon Duck?
You did not see this, clearly, based on that line of questioning.
No.
The Oregon Duck mascot ran out onto the field.
I didn't see that.
Lost the head.
That's not the first time he's done that, actually.
Well, I mean,
do you remember they had like something he was supposed to hit with a bat, like before one game was coming out of the tunnel?
I don't remember this.
And he hit it, he swung hard and his head came off, and the mascot, I'm assuming is a college student, like just covered his head and sprinted back into the tunnel.
If you watch the video from this event from over the weekend, it looks very similar, because that's exactly what happened. The head got knocked off, sprinted back. I can hear you typing on your keyboard. We can all just listen in to producer Evan type away Oregon Duck mascot to see if he can pull up this
I
video.
got to see this.
I know, that's fine.
Here he oh, no.
Right, exactly.
Oh, no.
File that one away in not what you want.
Oh, that's horrible.
I don't know how you recover from that.
You don't. He didn't even make it past the goal line.
I'm surprised, and I didn't think this is what we were going to do during the leftovers, but this is what the leftovers is for. I'm surprised the default reaction was to run backwards. The head was right there.
Just pick it up.
We could have recovered.
Yeah. I have a question. Did he come back out?
I don't have any additional information.
I would love to know if somebody was there. Not that probably any of our listeners were there.
No, Matthew brings up a good point over on YouTube. He says the run of shame back into the tunnel was a tough watch. See, I think that made it worse.
It did.
I think if he just does
collect the head.
Right. If he does a barrel roll and get the head back on.
And then come up 2 arms.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to lean into it. I think the running back.
It makes it way worse.
I think it makes it way worse.
Way worse. Some other stuff. Walker Buehler, who was released by the Red Sox, came to a deal with the Phillies. He will be part of a 6-man rotation for the Phillies for the rest of the year.
Yeah, so teams that want to have guys available for their postseason roster needed to have them in the organization by, I think it was yesterday or a time earlier today where they had to be in the organization. And so the Red Sox released Walker Buehler. Phillies wanted to take a flyer. They picked him up. So if they want to have him available to their postseason roster, he is eligible. They don't have to pick him, but if they want to pick him, if he gets there and pitches really well, they now have the ability to do that. There was a bunch of moves like that.
Carlos Santana, 1-year deal with the Cubs.
Aaron Savali went to
the Cubs. I saw Andrew Heaney went to the Dodgers.
Lots of moves like that because you need to be in the organization by September 1st. Not on the 40-man, not on the active roster. You need to be in the organization by September 1st.
There's been I guess there's been rumors in the Cubs dugout of like the guys playing video games and stuff like that. Have you heard this?
I have not.
And Carlos Santana years ago in his 1 year as a Philly in 2018.
Oh, he broke. I remember he broke.
He smashed the TV in the clubhouse because guys were playing video games. And the Phillies were kind of falling apart late in the year.
Well, Cubs aren't falling apart, so right now no reason for Carlos Santana
to smash TVs, but
be smashing TVs.
Lock up the PlayStations.
No,
this guy hates video games.
No, that's not true. I think he wanted to send a message. Hey, we're not playing well. We don't need to be playing MLB The Show or Call of Duty or Fortnite, whatever nonsense.
I believe at the time it was Fortnite.
Yeah, whatever nonsense we're getting into. Let's focus on the baseball here, fellas. If you're winning games and things are going well, you play all the Fortnite, all the Battlefield 6, all the GTA 6 that you want.
Yeah.
That would be my message if I was Carlos Santana.
Lee Corso. Awesome.
You want to talk about going out on top.
Story.
You want to talk about ending the career as a broadcaster on a high note. He went perfect.
And it wasn't safe plays. He takes Florida State.
Every one of the teams he coached for won on Saturday.
I was about to say that. Every team he played for or coached for won, and he got every pick right.
I'll tell you, for the people who think sports are fixed, it was a good weekend for you.
A great
You
weekend.
got a lot of evidence that you can try to point to. Yeah, he went perfect over the weekend.
Somewhere I saw it was if you bet the Lee Corso parlay.
Oh, he made a ton of money with this.
Yeah, it was plus 8,700. So it would have been $100 to win 8,700.
Plus 87. No.
8,700. Plus 8,700. So if you bet $100.
Would have been 87 grand.
No, because plus 100's even odds, right? So plus 1,000 is 100 to win 1,000.
Okay, yeah. You're right. I have the math backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So plus 8,700 is $100 to win $8 grand.
$10, you could have had $870, and you could have had a nice steak dinner thanks to Lee Corso.
Yeah.
Great job by everybody involved with that. Great job by Fox for carrying it and for everybody playing nice in the sandbox.
I was about to say that. That was really cool to see from Fox.
The right thing to do. Not everybody does the right thing when they're supposed to do the right thing. Everybody involved did the right thing on Saturday. And, what a great career for Lee Corso. And not just as a coach, but what he means for college football, what he meant for game day, what he meant for, college football on Saturdays. Just a amazing career. Goes out on top. Gets the headgear pick right.
I saw
Florida State correctly.
Awesome story that really kind of put life in perspective about Lee Corso. And it just said, imagine you finish your playing football career in the 50s. You coach until 1986 where you retire at 51. And somebody walks up and tells you your most impactful 3 to 4 decades on the game of college football are still to come.
Yeah. I mean,
life's never too late.
That is the career that Lee Corso had. And that is the impact that he had on generations of football fans. Generations of football fans he had an impact on.
I mean everybody, from my dad to me to...
I only know Lee Corso as the guy from Game Day. Now, obviously, you go back and you know where these guys came from, but didn't watch Lee Corso coach. Didn't watch Lee Corso play.
I mean, 15 years was his before I was born. It's his last coach game.
The only way that I know Lee Corso is the guy putting on the headgear on Saturdays. But so, hat tip to Lee Corso for a wonderful career and a celebration on Saturday, which was well done by everybody involved.
Our last story from the weekend, Hunter Renfrow off our list. He was brought back to the Carolina Panthers after they traded Adam Thielen.
How many fantasy shares of Hunter Renfrow are you going to have this year?
Quite a bit. Back in the day when Danny Woodhead got hurt, Danny Woodhead was my guy.
Okay.
And now it's become Hunter Renfrow. The year Danny Woodhead tore his ACL, the week after that, I left the flex spot open as a pay homage to Danny.
That's where we're going to end today's show. We're going to end it on that note. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Jim Rome's coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do, including that, to end the show. I mean, just nothing better. Everybody have a great rest of your Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.